Hillary Clinton constantly whines that people believe conspiracy theories about her. There's a reason for that. Many of the conspiracy theories about her have sort of turned out to be true. The most obvious, Hillary used her position at the State Department to sell favors to foreign nations to help out the Clinton Foundation, her enormous, gigantic slush fund. Here's a list of countries and figures who have benefited thanks to Hillary Clinton's dramatic corruption. Gilbert Chagoury. According to the New York Post, Hillary Clinton's aides, including Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills, traded their access on behalf of Hillary in exchange for donations to the Clinton Foundation. In one particular case, Gilbert Chagoury, a billion-dollar donor to the Clinton Foundation, he's like a Nigerian prince type, received access to Hillary via Doug Band, who was leading the Clinton Foundation at the time. Chagoury is a Lebanese-Nigerian businessman. He had to pay a $66 million fine for money laundering, so he fits right into the Clintonian circle. How about the Russians? Hillary essentially allowed the State Department to sign off on the Russian Atomic Energy Agency, Rosatom, taking over a Canadian uranium company with rights to remove uranium from American soil. The Russians, according to the New York Times, ended up with 1/5 of all uranium production capacity in the United States. In exchange, the Clinton Foundation received $2.35 million in donations from the chairman of the Canadian company. Bill Clinton got $500,000 for a speech in Moscow. Or how about the Saudis? According to the IB Times, the State Department signed off on a delivery of $29 billion of fighter jet technology to the Saudis. They reported, quote, in the years before Hillary Clinton became Secretary of State, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia contributed at least $10 million to the Clinton Foundation. Furthermore, the contractor making the planes, Boeing, gave almost $1 million to the Clinton Foundation just about 2 months before the deal went through. How about the Chinese? Going all the way back to the Clintons' first White House rock and roll tour, Chinese citizens funneled cash into the Democratic coffers, and so did the CEO of a missile technology company. In return, the Clintons worked to declassify missile technology secrets, which were then used by the Chinese. How about Sidney Blumenthal? Clinton hatchet man Sidney Blumenthal. He was working as an unofficial Hillary advisor, as well as an employee for that Clinton Foundation, when he was sending her Libya intelligence that, according to the New York Times, appeared to have come from a group of business associates he was advising as they sought to win contracts from the Libyan transitional government. The venture was ultimately unsuccessful, but it's another brick in the Clintonian wall of corruption. How about a guy named Claudio Osorio? Osorio is a Miami businessman. He served 12 years in prison on corruption charges. He helped use the Clintons to obtain a $10 million loan for a housing project in Haiti after the earthquake. Hillary was ready to use the State Department to push for the loan, too. The company, they never built the homes. They defaulted on the loan. According to an investigator, the company directed $30 million to foreign bank accounts, and the money was not retrievable, according to the Washington Free Beacon. Osorio fundraised for Hillary in 2007, donated tens of thousands of dollars to the Clinton Foundation. That's just some of the stuff that we've gone through. Bill tried to convince Hillary to allow him to give a $650,000 speech in Congo, which is a dictatorship, and it would have included a photo op with the dictators. Bill wanted to take money to speak in North Korea. The list of individuals with corrupt ties to the Clintons is extraordinarily long. Yes, Hillary Clinton is the most corrupt woman ever to run for high office. She's the most corrupt person ever to run for high office. She would sell America's national security down the river. She already has, given that she chose to set up a private email server in violation of law in order to protect her from scrutiny. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
Tend to demonize people who don't care about your feelings.
So much to get to today here on The Ben Shapiro Show, and we welcome you to the #1 conservative podcast in the United States of America. But first, we have to welcome an advertiser, a brand new advertiser, ClubW.com. So this is for folks who love wine or want to buy wine for friends. So they don't have kosher wines. What we did, so I could try out the product, is it's this really cool website. What you do is you go to ClubW.com, and they give you what's basically a questionnaire. I took it. It's really neat. And they ask you sort of, what foods do you like? Like, I don't know anything about wine. You know, if somebody asked me to buy a bottle of wine, I wouldn't know what to buy. I'd just go down to the local store and I'd pick up just some cheap hooch. I wouldn't know what to do. But Club W helps you with this, because what they actually do is they give you a quiz, and it's not what kind of wine do you like. It's like, do you like spicy food? Would you prefer steak to chicken? And what kind of food do you like to eat? And then they match your palate to the wine that they recommend that you pick up. It's really fantastic, and they send over great wines. We had the ability, thank goodness, to have a party for our employees, because that's just what I need is drunken employees. But they shipped us a bunch of wine. Yeah, you can hear everybody's excited about ClubW.com. All of our employees got to taste some of the wines, and according to the employees, I have their testimonials right here. They say that the Malbec was silky. I can't believe it's not buttery. They say the Cabernet Sauvignon was juicy, sharp, berry, and dry. And they say the Chardonnay was dry, light on the palate, zesty, and grippy. Apparently, they were getting so wild that apparently the head of the managing editor of the Daily Wire was taking his shoe to open the wine bottle. Apparently it worked. So clubw.com is where all the fun is. They will help you inform yourself as to what kind of wine you should get for your friends, and they are cheap. The wine there is not pricey. We're not talking about $200 bottle of wines. Right now, they're offering listeners $20 off your first order if you go to clubw.com/Ben. Use the /Ben. It reminds them that you're coming via this show, and that helps us. They continue to advertise with us, and that makes sure that all the illegal immigrant boozers in the back here get paid. It gets even better. I know that you hate paying for shipping, so Club W pays for your shipping on orders of 4 bottles or more, and you want to order more than 1 bottle. The wine apparently is very good. So you go to clubw.com/Ben, $20 off your first order now. That's clubw.com/Ben. Okay, so lots to get to today, of course. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, will do some good Trump, bad Trump. We do have some, I should note that there is one young man who was very, he had the intrepid nature, and he went out and he actually recorded a little stinger for good Trump, bad Trump. That's not going to be on today's show, but you can look forward to that on Monday. We're very grateful to people who have done that. Somebody cut like an actual intro for the show that we're looking at right now. So we appreciate our fans, and thank you for doing all of that. And thank you for saving work for our overworked minions in the back. All right, so let's start with Hillary Clinton. So Hillary Clinton continues to be terrible at everything. The good news for Hillary is that all she basically has to do is go comatose for the next 3 months, go down into her coffin in the bottom of her Transylvanian castle, lie down there, stay there for 3 months, and she'll be president. That's basically her strategy at this point. She's just going to go into her vampiric basement, never appear in daylight. She'll live. She'll be president of the United States. That doesn't mean she's not corrupt. Jake Tapper of CNN, who's a Hillary ally. I mean, Jake definitely likes Hillary Clinton. He says that Hillary continues to lie about her emails and about everything else.
And Jackie, I mean, this does feed into the narrative out there that the Clintons in general don't think that the rules apply to them, and can't understand why anybody would ever question their ethics or their integrity. This was exactly what the Obama transition team in 2008 wanted to avoid. They wanted a clear delineation between the foundation and the State Department.
And that, of course, is exactly true. The Hillary campaign continues to avoid all questions about the emails and her corruption, all the sorts of corruption issues that we just touched on. They've been avoiding that like the plague. Donald Trump has the capacity to bring that to the forefront. He did this a little bit yesterday. Here was Donald Trump going after Hillary Clinton's 33,000 deleted emails.
Fairly vast number. Oh, I want to see the ones that, what I really would like to see, though, we have to see the 33,000. Can you imagine? Remember, she said, I think it was for her wedding, the wedding of Chelsea, and it was for yoga classes. 33,000 emails. It's a lot of yoga. It's a lot of yoga.
So that's good stuff, and that's good Trump. I mean, I'm glad that Trump was saying that. Unfortunately, there were more pressing things in the news that the media were all over. For example, there was a guy climbing Trump Tower using suction cups. So I don't know what happened here. I have a few theories. I think that maybe Chris Christie just said to Trump, I really, really want to be part of your administration. And Trump said, okay, fatso, go climb the tower. And the next thing you know, it looks like this.
You may have read on Facebook or elsewhere that there is some guy climbing Trump Tower in Midtown Manhattan right now. These are live pictures from outside. This is some video from just a couple of minutes ago. We have live pictures that we're bringing you as well. Trump Tower, of course, is right in the heart of Midtown Manhattan, just below Central Park. It's between 56th and 57th Streets, and this is the 56th Street side of the building, so the south side of the building. And he's been using suction cups. One of the locals said he's cupping his way to the top, with a reference to Michael Phelps, I suppose. You can see there are workers all around there now, and if you look just to the left of him, in fact, let's steady cam and lights for the wall. Right here next to him, this is a live view stream, so it goes in and out. But right next to him, you'll be able to see when the picture clears up that there's a big ventilation system there.
Thanks,
and the workers
Chef.
On the inside, we're told, are trying to get, go back to the video, trying to get the
Okay, so the media obviously had very important things to cover yesterday, including this guy. They did reach him for comment, and his only comment was, elevators are for cucks. So that was weird. This is actually a video of the guy. He's talking about why he did it, and he looks like a real winner. I mean, he's a Trump fan apparently, but he looks like he looks like a Milo Yiannopoulos listener. So here we go.
Hello, Mr. Trump. Do excuse my manner of appearance. I just don't know how many people will watch this, and I'd rather not be recognizable.
Camera's over here, buddy.
I am an independent researcher seeking a private audience with you to discuss an important matter. I guarantee that it is in your interest to honor this request. Believe me, if my purpose was not significant, I would not risk my life pursuing it. The reason I climbed your tower was to get your attention. If I had sought this via conventional means, I would be much less likely to have success because you are a busy man with many responsibilities. I'll get my contact information to your campaign so that if you are interested, you can respond.
That's going to happen,
As for anyone else who's watching, please help make this video go viral so that it gets to Mr. Trump, and be sure to get out and vote for Mr. Trump in the 2016 election.
Making talking not in the direction of the camera great again. I like that he's like looking off at like a 90-degree angle to the camera. He's like, buddy, it's over here. Like, just talk to us. It'll be all right. So he starts climbing the tower, and of course the media are all over this crazy guy climbing the tower. There was some political analysis that came out. Nate Silver, in the middle of this, suggested that there was only about a 13.7% chance he'd actually make it to the top of the tower. The Never Trumpers, we were all saying like, okay, fine, so he makes it to the top of the tower. He hasn't accomplished anything. And the Trump people were just saying, well, he can fly. So the whole thing's ridiculous. This is what our campaign has become. If we can't have fun with the circus, folks, then why bother going to the circus? The circus is too much fun. Okay, so in other circusy news, Donald Trump was slamming Hillary Clinton, rightly so, for having sat the father of a terrorist who also believes in the Taliban behind Her Majesty at one of her rallies in Kissimmee, Florida. And then yesterday, there's another rally, and Trump is doing a rally, and he's talking about exactly this issue, and you'll notice something odd in the background.
In the past hour, this time it was on the other side of the aisle, though. This was at a Donald Trump rally in Fort Lauderdale, still in Florida. The rally actually is still going on right now, but look at this, sitting right behind Donald Trump, spot shadowed on the stage. We're showing a close-up of him right there. If you recognize him, that is former Congressman Mark Foley from Florida. Now, in 2006, 10 years ago, Foley left his seat, his House seat in Florida, after making repeated sexual advances and providing sexually charged material to several young teenage pages, congressional pages. That led to him resigning in the midst of that scandal. And tonight, he's on stage in the camera shot at Donald Trump's rally, right behind him there.
Well, yeah, okay. What can you say? What can you say? It's not as bad as having the father of a terrorist there. It isn't. I mean, Mark Foley isn't a terrorist unless he's a terrorist in his pants. He's just a terrorist. He's not a terrorist. Only Hillary has the fathers of terrorists to her events. But when you're trying to make the case that you're responsible for the people who sit behind you at a rally, and then legitimately as you're doing that, the person sitting behind you was nailing the pages in his time in Congress, it's just not good strategy. Okay, so all of that is the unserious stuff. Then we get to the actual serious stuff. So now it's time for an early episode of Good Trump, Bad Trump. Yeah, everybody loves some good Trump, bad Trump. Okay, so let's start with some good Trump. So people are considering this bad Trump. I don't think so. I think that this is actually good Trump. So here is Donald Trump talking about Barack Obama and ISIS.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so he says that she's the founder of ISIS, that he's the founder of ISIS, and Hillary is the co-founder of ISIS. And the media lose their poo. I mean, they lose their minds. They go absolutely nuts. How dare Donald Trump say anything remotely like this? Okay, a couple of quick things. First, on the good Trump side. First, when he says that she founded ISIS, I don't think, and I'm sure that Trump does not actually mean that what he's talking about is that she sat in a room and wrote the charter for ISIS and Obama signed it. That's not what he's talking about. What he's talking about, and everybody understands this, is he's saying that when Barack Obama pulled out of Iraq and did nothing in Syria, he created the climate that was that allowed ISIS to rise from being pretty much nothing of a power to being a regional power and to being able to conduct terrorist attacks across the West, right? That's really what he means. But CNN loses their poo about this. Now, what's ironic is that there's a bunch of media reports from a couple of years ago talking about, did Bush create ISIS? Like there was a New Yorker headline, did Bush create ISIS? The Huffington Post asked, did Bush create ISIS? But Trump says Obama created ISIS, and everybody loses their mind. Everybody goes crazy. So here's CNN. You can't say this. Brian Stelter on CNN.
Donald Trump says Barack Obama is the founder of ISIS. Now, on one level, that's a reference to foreign policy decisions by the Obama administration. On another level, that is a coded message suggesting the president of the United States is a traitor. That's what that is. It's a coded message.
Oh, shut it.
When we repeat that message, and then we come on the air and we fact check it, some people just take away the idea that it's true. They just hear it and they believe it. In fact, it reinforces people's beliefs in some cases.
Okay,
That's a
so Brian
problem for the media.
Stelter. So Brian Stelter's a lefty hack, and when Brian Stelter says that that clearly people are going to take away that Obama's an actual terrorist who founded ISIS. No, nobody's stupid like that. Everybody understands what Trump means. In fact, the left understood it when they were blaming Bush for the creation of ISIS. And Donald Trump is exactly right when he says, look, voters are not fooled by the biased media on this sort of stuff. They get it. They do get it.
What has surprised you the most to date about the process?
How smart the people of this country are, because they're reading false narratives, they're reading false newspaper articles and seeing false things on television, and I mean really biased reporting. And they don't, and here I am, I'm sitting here in a very close race, what will be and what already is shaping up to be a very close race. So the people are so smart, they get it, they really get it, and they're seeing it more and more, and I think they're going to get a great lesson. And it's not a fair situation. It's a rigged situation. In a certain way, it's rigged by the media, if you think about it.
Okay, so he's right. Okay, all of this is true. When he says that Obama and Hillary created ISIS, of course that's true. Now, when he says co-founder, it's a little bit much. I mean, they didn't found it, but we all know what he means. We all know what he means. And to pretend this is some sort of big deal is absurd. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Democrats were still putting bumper stickers on their cars that said Bush lied, Americans died, right, about the war in Iraq, which was absolutely false. I remember that. I remember Barack Obama saying that the American military wasn't doing anything except air raiding villages and killing civilians. So you don't get to play this game, okay? It's a bunch of nonsense. So that's good, Trump. Okay, Trump can say that as long as he can go out there and use this as a leverage point to actually make his real point, right? He says they're co-founders of ISIS, and the media says, no, they're not. Explain yourself. Good, now he gets to explain himself. What I mean is Barack Obama called them a JV team. He didn't care about them. He pretended they didn't matter. And then he created every condition necessary, every condition precedent in order for them to become an actual regional power, right? That's what he has to say. That's what he has to say. Unfortunately, now it's time for bad Trump. So the problem for Donald Trump is that one of his people told him to go out there and say that they are the co-founders of ISIS, that one is the founder, Obama's the founder, and Hillary Clinton is the co-founder of ISIS. And when asked to clarify this, right now he's being asked to clarify. And the clarification should be pretty easy, right? The clarification should be everything that I just said. Hugh Hewitt, who is a syndicated radio host, and friends with Hugh, and Hugh has been doing yeoman's work trying to train Donald Trump on how to be a politician. It's like somebody tweeted today, and I thought it was very funny. They tweeted that Hugh Hewitt trying to coach Donald Trump, and you'll hear it in a minute, is sort of like Hugh Hewitt playing Professor Higgins in My Fair Lady and Gary Busey playing Eliza Doolittle. So here is Hugh Hewitt trying to get Trump to say what he wants him to say, which is what I've been saying, which is, okay, what I really mean by co-founders of ISIS is not that they sat there with a piece of paper and decided that they were fans of ISIS. It's that they created all the conditions for it and watched Trump blow it.
The Never Trump movement says, I've been writing about how important the Supreme Court is.
Are they still around?
Well, I've been writing about the Supreme Court a lot, and they keep telling me we can't trust Trump on his list of 11. And I wrote, hey, you don't have to trust Trump. If he departs from the list, I trust you, by the way, but if he departs, Mitch McConnell can block your nominee. First, can we trust you to live by that list? And second, if you didn't, would McConnell be justified in blocking your nominee?
Yeah, number one, I'm going to live by that list or very close to it. It is possible there'll be somebody outside of that list that has very similar principles, and I think you don't want to totally preclude that. But the answer is yes, I'm living by the list, and yes, he can do whatever he wants because it'll be either that list or somebody that is very close to it. In fact, I'm thinking about actually naming 4 or 5 more people to the list. We have a great list. It's a great list of people. Yeah, I mean, if we veered from that, I would say block it, and I would be very happy with that, and I wouldn't even fight it because I won't have to.
Last night, you said the president was the founder of ISIS. I know what you meant. You meant that he created the vacuum. He lost the peace.
No, I meant he's the founder of ISIS. I do. He was the most valuable player. I give him the most valuable player award. I give her, too, by the way.
But he's not sympathetic to them. He hates them. He's trying to kill them.
He was the founder. The way he got out of Iraq was the founding of ISIS. Okay?
Well, I have a saying, Donald Trump. mnemonic device I use is every liberal really seems so sad. E is for Egypt, L is for Libya, S is for Syria, R is for Russia reset. They screwed everything up. You don't get any argument from me, but by using the term founder, they're hitting with you on this again. Mistake?
No, it's no mistake. Everyone's liking it. I think they're liking it. I give him the most valuable player award. And I give it to him, and I gave a co-founder to Hillary. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I did. I played it.
Yeah, you said 1 second ago.
I know what you're arguing.
Let me ask you, do you not like that?
I don't. I think I would say they lost the peace. They created the Libyan vacuum. They created the vacuum into which ISIS came, but they didn't create ISIS. That's what I would say.
Well, I disagree.
All right, that's okay.
I mean, with his bad policies,
that's okay.
Why
and then he just
about.
we stop there. And then he just kind of, well, fine, okay, I can't. There's no winning here. Okay. All right, fine. I mean, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the play. I mean, it's amazing stuff. And really, you got Hugh there saying to him, "I'm trying to feed you the right line here, Donald. Just like open your ears for 1 second. Just do it." And Trump's like, "No." He founded it. He wrote the document. He founded it. And he was like, "No, you mean that he created the vacuum for ISIS to rise?" No, I mean he founded it. Like in his basement, he founded it. Him and Hillary, they sat there with Saul Alinsky and they founded it. Let me tell you that. Okay, so the good Trump is he could have just said this stuff and then agreed with Hugh Hewitt, who is much smarter than he is, and just been okay. But no, you just have to. He has to go he has to go the Big Lebowski. He has to go all the way. He's got to go whole hog. He just can't stop himself. It's like, come on, Donald, for the love of God, get out of your own way. Stop stepping on your own genitals. Like, just stop. Just stop. He was trying to save you. Do you understand? He was your knight in shining armor with those glasses and the hair. He's there. He's trying to save you. Come on. And you just can't take that. You just can't take it. You just can't take the lifeline. Like he's flying by on the helicopter. You're there. You're out there unmoored in the middle of Hurricane Katrina. He's flying by in the helicopter and he's dropping down the rope to you. Just grab it. Just grab it. You don't have to say you're making a mistake. Notice Hugh doesn't say, "Are you making a mistake?" until about 5 questions into that cycle, right? First he says, "What you really meant is this, right?" And Trump goes, "No, I didn't mean that." Yes, you did. And you know you did. But maybe you don't. Maybe all that happened is your advisors told you just say that they're the founders and the co-founders of ISIS, and that's all you know because you don't think beyond 5 seconds. Because here's the problem. Trump doesn't actually believe any of this stuff. Here's the proof Trump doesn't actually believe any of this stuff. So Donald Trump, he said that what he really means, what Hugh says he means, and I agree with you, what he means is Barack Obama created the conditions that made it possible for ISIS to rise, right? That's what he means. That's what he means. There's only one problem. There was someone else who was calling in 2007 for a full-scale withdrawal from Iraq of all troops, which would have led to the rise of ISIS, and his name was Donald Trump. Here's Donald Trump circa 2007.
How does the United States get out of this situation? Is there a way out of it? You
know how they get out? They get out. That's how they get out. Declare victory and leave. Because I'll tell you, this country is just going to get further bogged down. They're in a civil war over there, Wolf. There's nothing that we're going to be able to do with a civil war. They are in a major civil war, and it's going to go to Iran, and it's going to go to other countries. They are in the midst of a major civil war, and there's nothing. And by the way, we're keeping the lid on a little bit, but the day we leave anyway, it's all going to blow up. And Saddam Hussein will be a nice person compared to the man, and it will be a man, it will not be a woman. That we understand. People say, "Oh, gee, you didn't give the women a chance." It will be a man. Compared to the person that takes over for Saddam Hussein, he will be considered a nice person. This guy will be the meanest, the worst guy, and he'll have one thing. He will hate America, and he'll use that to flame. So, I mean, this is a total catastrophe, and you might as well get out now because you're just wasting time.
Okay, there you have it. So this is the reason why Donald Trump couldn't just say that the conditions that were created for ISIS led to the rise of ISIS, because Donald Trump was making the same case in 2007. We can all pretend that Donald Trump just randomly appeared on the scene, but he doesn't. He has a history, and that's the problem. Donald Trump isn't a blank slate. He may be blank in the head, but he's not a blank slate by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, we have to cut off the Facebook live feed here. If you want to see the rest, go to dailywire.com, where everything is visible. Go to iTunes and SoundCloud and all the rest.